Tyranny is defined as something that is illegal for the citizenry, look how easy that was to say, but legal for the government. That was said by Thomas Jefferson. That brings me to another rant. I know we had that happy video earlier today, but today is not an angry video. We're never angry here. A rant video for something that has been going on lately, a topic that has been discussed at the New York Firearms Forum. This not only shows how absolutely tyrannical this state is, it also shows how indoctrinated people have become to just believing it, don't ask questions, it's the government, don't ask questions. It shows it absolutely perfectly. So New York Firearms is the forum I go to, where obviously you have people from New York that talk about the firearms and laws in this state. And the thing we were talking about today, and it's come up before, and I've been vehemently, I've had some strong views on it before, is the law enforcement officer's exemption to high-capacity magazine rules. Now, for those in the free state that have no idea what I'm talking about, because they would never think that there would be such a stupid-ass thing as a ban on the magazines, in New York you can not have a magazine manufactured after 1994 that has a capacity over 10 rounds. For pistols and rifles, it's the same. I'm not talking about New York City, because we know that's a whole clusterfuck different. But what I am talking about is the law enforcement officers can have magazines of any capacity made in any date. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, well, that's fine, and you know, they have to do it for work. Well, I'll tell you that that's not true. That's still ridiculous. But I'm going to talk about another facet that I think will really piss you off. Let's first of all talk about the first thing, using them for work. That is absolute nonsense anyway, to ban, first of all, the whole banning the high capacity, standard capacity magazine things is absolute nonsense. It's been disproven so many times it's unbelievable. I've shown it on here. It takes no time to switch a magazine out. You're not preventing anything by limiting magazine capacities. It's the most nonsense that's ever been had, yet it's what the Brady campaign and people want to go after. Oh, did you know that Gabrielle Giffords was shot with a 33-round magazine? Really? She was shot with a 33-round magazine? A magazine grew legs, loaded a gun, and shot her in the head? That's what she was shot with? Really? That is absolutely astonishing. I did not know that. But anyway, so we have this ban here, and the law enforcement is exempt. Meaning, if they're going to, you know, be on duty, they can have their Glocks with their 17-round magazines, they can have their ARs with brand new PMags, doesn't matter. That's great. Now, let's say I was okay with that, which is brutally different from the truth, because I'm not. Anything that the government can have that we can't is tyranny. It's actually defined as tyranny by Mr. Thomas Jefferson. You may have heard of him. Okay, so, but they can have it. Let's just say I was okay with that. Let's say, okay, you guys can have it for work, you know, you're out there protecting the citizens, though the great people that serve this nation are doing it as well, when they're fighting overseas there with their M4s and actual assault rifles. Yeah, they can't have high capacity magazines here for some reason. Oh, I got a good one for you on that too. We'll get to that in a second. But let's just say I was okay with that. Let's just say I was fine with them having it for work. Like, okay, they're protecting the citizenry. Again, I'm not, but let's just say that I was. Okay, you guys can have the high capacity magazines to protect us lowly citizens here and raid the drug raids and all those terrible people that you need high-capacity magazines for. Fine. Now you'll be saying, okay, then that's the rant over. Oh, no, but it's not. Here's where I get really pissed off, and you tell me if you agree with this. Law enforcement officers, and by law enforcement officers, I mean the broad spectrum. I mean law enforcement officers, I mean correctional officers, I mean if you wear a badge and you think you're better than anybody, even if you do it, even if you got the badge off the back of the Captain Crunch box, then you're a law enforcement officer exalted person in this state. Law enforcement officers in this state, COs and all the people that I just mentioned, can use high-capacity magazines for personal use. For personal use. And it doesn't matter what that use is. Now, what do I mean by this? You can have a high-capacity magazine for any of your firearms for personal use. Now, do you see a problem with that? And the first thing they want to they want to have a rebuttal with is, oh yes, but did you know that a cop is always a cop? There's no such thing as an off-duty officer. They have a duty to respond, blah, 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 blah. That would be a great excuse. No, it would not. I'm being a big fat liar. But that would be a great excuse if we didn't have people like the Marines or any of the other armed forces. How many times, how true is the statement, an ex-Marine? You can't be an ex-Marine, because once a Marine, always a Marine. Even when you're off duty and here in America, you know, you're on leave, you're still a Marine. So, why can't you take your M4 with you? Because you can't use it for personal reasons! absurd! I don't know why the cops can use their stuff for personal reasons, but that's one reason that's ridiculous. The other reason is they always throw out that, oh yes, but you're never an off-duty police officer. Bullshit! You can be an off-duty Marine, you can be an off-duty police officer! But the other reason that it is ridiculous is because, oh yes, you can't be an off-duty police officer, but you can buy high-capacity magazines for any of your firearms just because you wear the badge, i.e. the badge gives you rights. No, it doesn't in reality. For example, you can get a Ruger 1022. How many innocent lives are you going to be protecting with a Ruger 1022? I'm going to bet that not that many. Could you possibly? I'm going to bet that not that many. And you can get a 25-round, one of the new BX-25 magazines for your Ruger 1022, and that's legal just because you wear that badge for a certain amount of time during the day. Now, you tell me if you think that perhaps they're just giving the government workers, i.e. the law enforcement officers, extra rights just for the hell of it, or do you really think it's because that they always have to be a police officer? You never know when they're going to have to be on duty. Or do you think they're just hooking up their buddies? Because the actual topic came up where somebody wanted to buy a Kel-Tec PMR-30 with 30 rounds of 22 Magnum. Now, I would like one myself, but we can't have those big scary magazines here. So nobody really needs the 22. No, I'm not going to say needs. That's a terrible thing to say. But nobody needs the PMR-30 for protecting the citizenry. In fact, in the topic he mentioned that he only wanted it for a woods walk and he wanted it for personal plinking. I have no problem with him having it for that. But if you're using it for personal uses, you are not going to have the big 30-round magazines that you can get just because you're a law enforcement officer. That's bullshit. Okay, and the first thing they want to yell out is, "Oh, you're just jealous." Actually, I don't think it's more jealous. I think it's knowing what the hell happens when you give governments the rights that your citizens can't have for personal uses. You understand that this is no different from having a doctor that has been given the right by the government to write prescriptions and having him just hook up his buddies. Oh, but that's illegal. Well, let's just say it's not. Let's just say, oh, the doctor actually thinks that person in California needs pot because he has too many pimples or whatever nonsense reason that they want to give. Oh, that's technically legal. I mean, but it's using a government thing that the regular citizens can't have for a personal use, which is exactly what's happening with those cops. So that's what their excuse is, and that absolutely drives me bananas. But there's no such thing as an off-duty cop. Yeah, because I'm sure you really need to protect the citizenry with your 25-round magazine for your Ruger 1022. If you're absolutely bananas in this video because you can't imagine having a high-capacity magazine ban in the first place, realize how absolutely tyrannical it is that we have a high-capacity magazine ban in this state, and law enforcement officers can still have all that stuff, and they can use it for personal use! Is that not the most banana thing you ever did here? I can't even fathom that! Oh, but they're never off-duty. Are you freaking stupid? Of course they are! Of course they are, because you don't need anything related to duty, anything related to your duty to act, all that nonsense, with a 25-round magazine full of 22 rounds. It's nonsense. You're never not a Marine either, so why shouldn't they be able to carry M4s around? Because they can't use it for personal reasons! Jeez, if we peon citizens can't use it, well then when they're off duty, why can they? Oh, because they're never off duty. This is unbelievable. So again, if you're in a free state, you're wondering what the hell is this high-capacity magazine ban? Well, not only do we have it, we give the government the right to carry them for whatever the hell reasons. How can you possibly get any more tyrannical than that? That is absolutely bonkers. I can't even wrap my head around that. Oh, it's just absolutely insane. And now I also mentioned this showed the indoctrination of the people here. I'm actually in the minority. Other people are absolutely fine with this. Other people, I have a phone call right here. I'm going to have to put that on denied. Because I got a phone call right here because I'm in the middle of a rant. But this is absolutely insane. I said this showed the indoctrination. This thought I have that the government probably shouldn't be able to have things that the citizens can't for personal use. I'm in the minority on the forum. I am actually in the minority. Other people are like, well, I think you're just jealous. I think you're just jealous. Wanting rights and freedoms for your citizens that the government is taking away and distributing among their own Gestapo is not jealousy. How loud do I have to say this? And I'm not making any of this up. This literally is what happens. They have the right to have these scary things, fucking high-capacity magazines for personal use. Okay, let's just say, and again I don't, let's just say I agreed with it for work uses and stuff to protect the citizens, like that we need to protecting from the police. Fine. But you can use it for personal use on any weapon. It's just, well, I got a badge, so you want to see me, you want to come out and shoot my 100-round 22 drum magazine? But you have no use for that. I mean, that's where you don't actually need it. The cop, you're talking about protecting the citizenry. You don't need a 100-round 22 magazine. You want to pull that need nonsense with the regular citizens. Well, nobody needs a 33-round Glock magazine. You don't need a 100-round 22 magazine as a law enforcement officer, especially for personal use. Oh, I'm starting to freak out here. This is absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, you tell me what side of the issue you think you're on. And now that we're not just getting the New York indoctrination at the forums, I want to hear what you people think. Do you think that the government officials, i.e. law enforcement officers, should be able to use high-capacity magazines that we peons can't use for personal uses? You go ahead and you tell me. I think I know what the outcome is going to be in these comments, but you tell me. I could be wrong. You tell me, do you think it's just jealousy, or do you think that I see a big problem with giving the government stuff that the citizens can't use just because they are in the Gestapo? Do you see any problem with that? And then they're always like, oh yeah, you're just cop bashing. If this was cop bashing, I'd be like, them damn pigs, I hate everything they do. I have a problem with tyranny. If you guys are running a tyrannical law enforcement agency, you should be punished. I think we'll end it there because I have a birthday celebration to go to. I gotta go to the bar and get drunk. So, let's think about that. I gotta take a break from this. You think about that and you give me your thoughts on that particular issue. I bet you didn't know about that.